All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. My name is Karl McLain. I am a game designer and I work with the skills and balance of Guild Wars 2. And today we're here to talk about some of the high level sort of just like kind of basic, how do we fight against these builds that we come across and we're like, oh man, how do I beat this thing? How do me and my team fight against this thing that we feel like is just way too strong or way out of the way, so I don't know how to fight against it. So here we are. Let's go and jump on into the game here today. So basics. From a team's perspective, fighting against things like the Bunker Guardian, is kind of a difficult thing to do in a one-on-one situation. So from a high level, we're going to talk about how to beat these things that feels really difficult to beat today, and just to maybe combat against it. I got a caveat here. I am kind of a janky player. I don't play builds that. I like to make my own builds a lot of times. So we'll be seeing some of my builds. And we'll be fighting against a few builds that are considered to be pretty strong. First thing, in a team fight scenario, I really suggest calling targets and taking targets. It really helps just overall kind of get your team focused on one guy. Be like, I'm focusing this guy. Please help me take him down. Getting that sort of a mechanism on your keyboard, on your mouse. For me, my taking target is bound to mouse 4, so I just click the mouse and it actually just switches over to whoever has the target. Assisting targets down is really an important thing to do. And sometimes, though, you don't have a team around, and you need to actually deal with the fight based on your own knowledge and how you're able to fight against your enemies in a one-on-one situation. So, for right now, I think what we're going to do is jump into a battle. Hello, everyone out there. So I have my own private server set up, and I have Roy on the other end with his Guardian. And we actually had 2 minutes left in this match, so I think we're probably going to wait it out. We'll talk about some other stuff. So, for me, I like the Necromancer quite a lot in terms of in fighting these Bunker Guardians and these things that they hold a point really well. The Necromancer does a really good job in countering the Guardian, but also there are a lot of other professions that will handle the Guardian in their own specific way. For the Necromancer, I like to deal with their boons, the Guardian's boons, and I like to attrition them down based on stripping their boons and taking them off and making them more vulnerable to your teams, and to actually just slowly whittle them down, because oftentimes they don't have as much offense when they're down on their boons. So some of the things about Guardian Bunkers, they have high boon uptime. They have their shouts. They have boons that apply to them naturally through their traits. They get a lot of them from just engaging in combat. So what I like to do is I like to actually find a build that pressures their cooldowns, that makes them use their boons their boons a lot faster than they would like to, because their boons are their healing, their boons are their survivability, and their boons are oftentimes their damage as well. So you like to get, for me, I like to get a profession that actually pressures those boons. If it's a thief with a sword and a dagger, doing flanking strike and larcenous strike with bountiful theft. If it's an engineer, engineers do pretty well with just pressuring them with base conditions overall. And then there is the Shatter Mesmer that actually shatters the boons off of the Guardian. All these can help fight against the Guardian pretty well in a one-on-one scenario, and in general they tend to compound with whatever class is there doing damage to the Guardian, and just if you're able to help them out in that fashion, and we're about to start a new match, then it's all the better. So this spec I use a full staff. There we go. I go 30 curses, got some lingering curse, master corruption, terror, greater marks, and I go 30 into the soul reaping line because I like foot in the grave because it really helps for like stomping out enemies and just survivability overall. Reaper's Mark, I play a little team oriented in this one because I like to res. And so Reaper's Mark on when you're reviving an ally is pretty good. Helps you get that extra revive off. All right.
The match starts soon.
So, choice of utilities, consume conditions, spectral walk. I like Signet of Undeath
Last chance
to revive allies,
strategy.
and corrupt boon. In this fight, you know, I'm going to go against Roy, who is a guardian, and my Signet of Undeath is not really going to help me a whole lot. Flesh Golem is one of my favorite elites because it's usable in pretty much any scenario. So we're kind of gonna just set up a scenario where, you know, Roy is gonna be that guardian that's on the point, and I might lose this because I'm kind of distracted and I'm talking, but we'll see how we can do. Also, no sound. I'm kind of scared about this. So we're gonna watch the guardian's boon bar quite a lot. He's gonna use a lot of he's gonna have boons popping up and down all over the place here. I like to save for one. The Necromancer does really well against fighting against the Guardian because he can actually get through the Guardian's Aegis pretty easily with all of his marks, and he can return any conditions, any like insane conditions against back to the Guardian or whatever target he's fighting. So we'll just start off with just fighting, and then let's see. Oh yeah, my other weapon set. I like Scepter. And then Focus, because the Focus actually does really well at controlling a Guardian's boons as well. So, starting off the fight, I save my fears, I save my stuns. I try not to use them unless unless I'm in a position where I can actually get the Guardian off of a point, or stop a stomp, or, you know, just keeping it, like, I tend to save them a bit. So, we'll start off the fight. I'm going to use my 2 and my 3 for just some area pressure. And then we'll engage. Here we go. There goes the Flesh Golem. We're off the point. This is not good. He's got some stability. Let's corrupt that right now. He's got some more boons right now. We'll take those off with the Chilblains, or not Chilblains, Spinal Shivers. We'll go back and we'll. Ooh. That was a pretty good one right there. So he pops a Sanctuary, but my Scepter is able to get through it. We'll duke it out just a little bit here. My Flesh Golem is actually doing really well back there. It's just eating him from behind. Oh, nope. Oh, I used my Reaper's Mark, way too soon. We'll send the Golem off one more time before he dies. I'm going to fear him away. Nope, he dodged that one out. Flesh Golem's gonna die. But good news is we've used most of his things. He still has Elite up at this point, so we're just gonna keep fighting. Give him some more Chilblain, or some more Chill. Guardians love Chill. I know it. He's able to use his heal, but he's not gonna be able to give me a whole lot of pressure because his build's mostly centered on survivability on the point. We haven't been able to fear him off just yet. Here's another stability. We'll corrupt that off again. Oh, he popped it right back on. But luckily, go take us. Oh, he doesn't actually have any boons left. There we go. We're getting it almost neutral now. Spectral right back on. Fear him again. We'll use the 2 skill to penetrate his shield block and give him some poison right before he's able to heal. And we'll go Reaper's Mark. And so you can see this is a pretty good attrition fight. I feel like he is on the defensive all the time, and he's going to get spiked down pretty quick. Give him some more fears. Oh, come on. All right. Well, we got our Flesh Golem back up again. He still has not had to use the Elite. I'm a little concerned at this point. That's a long stability. Let's get him off of that. More Reaper's Mark. Oh, man. This is actually a little harder now than I'm trying to talk and like do all this at once. Okay, here we go.
Refreshing.
We're back on. Come on. Okay, so now we've got the point neutralized, which is a pretty good thing. Immediately took off his stability as soon as he popped it. The Flesh Golem is ready to charge again. He gets stability, so he actually gets to charge right on through it. We're just going to keep fighting. And now I think we can get him down. Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Just die. Fear. All right. Well, normally he would knock me back at this point. But there was a fight. It takes a while. Like this, he has a very survivable Guardian. And it takes a while, but like you just have to keep looking at their boons constantly and figuring out which one am I going to like. Is now a good time to use my boon strip? And is now time to use my corrupt? Is now a time to use the Flesh Golem, which goes charging off into the distance. By the way, Flesh Golem gets like a ton of stability as soon as he charges, because he's awesome, I guess. And after that, you got the point. Nice. It took a little while longer. I would, generally speaking, I use this kind of Necromancer in a fight where I'm not trying to take a point solo. I generally use it in assisting teammates. So if that Guardian were fighting somebody else at that point, and he would be pressured by their condition application, their boon strips, their damage, and I would just come in and try to DPS him down as fast as I can, removing all of his boons, and just eat his face, I guess. So, with that, where are we at here? All right. Yeah, so I guess that kind of comes to the next point, which is like, if you have something you can't really beat, or you're having a really hard time with, don't be afraid to like back off and like try to help your team somewhere else. If you're not able to capture their point or neutral their point, it might not be worth the fight. It might be better to just go. Like, don't be afraid to fight for 2 points. Be like, we're okay. We're going to hold mid and our close point, and that's going to be it. So like, if you're fighting a bunker ranger on a far point, and you're not able to damage him down, know that he has to keep that point pretty safe. Like, he's not able to like travel, like he's not able to portal out with like a mesmer portal to the midpoint and assist them and then come back. I'm going to message Roy real quick. But he has to stay there. So you can essentially make your team, give your team an advantage by only fighting for 2 points and fighting like mid and for close. Let's fight. I'm going to go and so let's see here. Next, we're going to go on. I have another scenario set up. Got to change over to it right now. We have next, I'm going to go to another Necromancer, just because. And this is a completely different build that it's a little, it's actually a damage-oriented Necromancer.
Oh, traveler.
Sometimes you play another, like the damage roll, and you come into like a fight with another damaging profession that's like also roaming. So we have, so right now the Thief is very popular, and his sword dagger builds are very strong in that they remove boons and evade a lot. And some tips for like holding against the Thief are that they have high mobility, but they have low health pool. So as long as you keep attacking them regularly, they're going to get chipped down. And they're going to feel a lot more pressure. Also, weakness is a good thing on a Thief, because fighting. Here we go. I got to capture the point first. We're going to set this up. So weakness is it lowers your endurance regeneration rate. So keeping the Thief from evading is a pretty good way to get more damage in on them. So here we are. I have. I guess I'll roll through the build real quick. I'm running very damage spec'd Necromancer. We got Close to Death, deal 20% extra damage when they're below 50% health. Chill of Death, as cast Spinal Shivers on a foe when they hit 25% health. It's really strong in that like it feels like an extra spike of damage. Master of Terror, and I'm actually running Terror because Terror is a pretty strong trait. And it's good for power builds just as much as it is. Like it's good, better for condition builds, but it's really strong for power builds. I'm running 2 Wells, Wells of Corruption, Well of Suffering, because they are very high damage builds. And I'm running Unholy Feast, Spinal Shivers, you know, like Axe, Focus, and then the other set is going to be Dagger, Warhorn. So this is a very melee-oriented, skirmishy style Necromancer. I'm going to try to DPS things down faster than they can DPS me down. But this is the best kind of scenario we could like we got for you right now, in terms of like I'm gonna try to hold this point, and Roy's got his thief, his sword dagger thief. Roy is a pretty proficient thief usually, and we're just gonna duke it out a bit. But like my goal with this guy is gonna be to dodge when he steals from me. I'm going to dodge or interrupt his fear skull and try to immobilize him and try to get him down with my wells, and follow him when I'm actually going to try to follow him a little bit when he teleports back with his sword skill 2, Infiltrator Strike, Shadow Return. I believe it's Shadow Return. Whatever. Okay. So anytime you're ready, Roy, we'll let's get it on. I generally start the fights in Axe and Focus, so I can. Ooh, here we go. There's a Fear Skull.
I dare you. Hit me.
Ooh. Now he's got a bunch of boons on him right now. So we can try to stay in here and get those corrupted off. I'm actually going to cast this. Oh, he dodged my fear. You know, and this is by no means is this build actually, it might not win against it, but there we go. We'll use the Flesh Golem here real quick. Oh yeah! I think he got him. Nope, never mind.
Ready for more.
Yeah, this is very strong. Got one more heal. Oh, I ran out of evades way too soon. See if we can kill him anyway. Ha! Take that. So. This is an example of like how you would fight the thief, like just head on. This one didn't work out so well, but in general, I find that fighting a thief like with a damage build is actually not too bad if you keep channeling on them and keeping them dodged. Like if you get hit by a flanking strike, know that they can't use a flanking strike again until they use larcenous strike, until they actually hit with a larcenous strike. So that's probably a pretty big thing to know, is that they can't use that evade again until they hit with their next skill, or if they have to wait it out, which is like about 5 seconds. So we're gonna try it again. I think we got enough time here. Running low on time. It's so sad. So here's the thief again. We're just gonna give it one more fight. If we lose, it's all right. We get another fight. All right. So we had a little Death Shroud this time. He stole from me just right now. We're actually gonna put the wells down because he has it from us, and we're gonna. Well, that's a pretty good amount of spike that we just let out. We didn't get anything from it. Luckily, his fear didn't last that long. He's good at maintaining his pressure behind. And we will use this Flesh Golem again. We'll try to pin him down. We'll use a Warhorn. Then we'll channel on him. Although Dagger 1 would probably have been a better choice in this case. We'll try to hit him with that. There we go. And I guess that's that. He probably went a little easier on me this time. Or he ran out of initiative, because we did chase him down quite a bit more. He did end up back here with the Flesh Golem chasing after him, and actually it put a bit of time into the battle where I could recover and know what I'm going to do next. All right. Next. Uh-oh. Let's go here. Next, we're gonna go for we're gonna go against the Beastmaster Ranger, which is gonna be, these guys are so survivable. They have a lot of damage mitigation with evasion, through evasion and healing and stuff like that, and their pets do a ton of damage. Yeah. Here we go. So what I have to fight against these guys is I like to do just like a lot of damage output. So Rangers, they survive really easily, and they have their pets to deal damage. You're gonna have to figure out a way. Either you kill the pets, which is very difficult. How much time do we have left on this map?
The match starts soon.
It's starting again. That's cool. All right. So they have that thing where it's like, do you kill the ranger, which is tanky, or do you kill a pet, which they have high regeneration on, that's dealing the damage to you, but then they have the other thing where like they can swap the pet out. Now if you get to kill the pet, they have a longer cooldown. So that can be a strategy in itself. But sometimes it's just easier to simply try to DPS the out DPS the ranger before his pet DPSs you down. Ah! Run away! So on the back point, yes, I'm going to call this one the Fey build. So this is the build that was seen in the Mist League tournament, where we weren't so sure what the build was, or some people weren't so sure what the build was, but I'm going to call it the Fey build. So it's really high on simply surviving and getting your phantasms out. So this is kind of an answer to the BM Ranger, where it says I'm gonna put as much damage on you as possible, and then I'm gonna try to keep away and just let my damage run its course on you. Let's see here. So the things to note about the Ranger is that it loses pretty heavily, like, to repeated big hits. Like, it does not handle, like, it does small hits really well, but like if you can hit it for like 5k repeatedly and just keep punching it, it does have problems with that sort of attrition. So you can definitely whittle them down. And the Phantasm Mesmer is a great answer to it, because the Ranger doesn't have a whole lot of AoE, at least with the BM builds. And so, and also Rangers are with this type of build are very hard to condition well, because they have Empathetic Bond, which removes three conditions every 10 seconds and puts it on their pet, and then they also have the antidote signet, or signet of renewal, which cures a condition every 10 seconds. And Signet of the Wild, which he's running, also will help keep the Fluffy over there, which is a nice name for a killer pet, alive. So for this type of build, I'm running just simple null field. So if he uses like something like Entangle, I'm going to try to cleanse the Immobilize off. I have Decoy, so I can stealth away if he starts pressuring me, and I also have Mass Invisibility for that extra kind of just get off me. Also, it helps. This is kind of fun to use in team fights, because you can start rezzing your allies. You can say, "I'm coming in, Mass Invisibility." All your teammates go away, and you can just start rezzing them. It's kind of fun. It was a little sort of utility. I felt like it was good to use. So we're gonna tell Roy we're ready here. He's gonna be on the point, and this is usually kind of the back point. So we would normally be on mine or something like that, or henge. So we'd normally be in these areas, but today we're on the middle point. We're just gonna fight here, and he's ready. So here we go. I'm gonna start off with Phantasms, switch over, and immediately Phantasm again. Try to immobilize him, and then dodge out. And he can choose to kill the clones. Oh, he's got immunity. So we're gonna try to get his, oh yeah, we did. We got his stability off with the null field. We'll cast another Phantasm on him, and another Phantasm, because that one was about to die. And then let's try to keep ourselves invulnerable for a little while. And he's probably just going to die to the phantasms. Yeah. Ooh. So that's a pretty nice way to kill a bunker ranger for me. Anyway, I don't know if we need to run that one again. we've fought against this quite a bit, and it's actually, the ranger doesn't win all that often. So well, I guess to recap today, just from kind of a high level perspective, like there is, from like just base and just running through it, like what are the ways you can how are the ways you can counter that these things that you come across that completely they feel overwhelming at times. And we've gone through a couple of ways to do it today, and I'm sure there are definitely more ways out there. So for example, like in addition to killing the guardian with a condition style Necromancer, you can also run the Shattered Mesmer. Necromancer? Yeah. So conditions, instead of a condition style Necromancer, a good Shattered Mesmer or like just heavy boon pressure style build will also help out quite a bit. Yeah. So that's going to be all for us today. I want to say thanks to Roy here, who has been helping me out. Dying to these builds repeatedly. we've been practicing quite a bit and finding these style of builds that really work well against one another. All right. Today, so that's all for today. Thanks for joining in. On Monday, at 12 noon PST, we have the Sky Pirates that are going to be streaming. Yeah, and the Sky Pirates of Tyria. And we look forward to seeing you. But thanks everyone for joining in. I'm Karl McLain, and I will see you all later.